Where's my pencil? You have my pencil too. I'll get it.
On this one, you should have 2 and then plus 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 plus 12 is 14, minus 5 is 19, or not 19, but 9.
I had 9.
You must do 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 divided by 10 is 2. Answer should be 5. You must do 2 minus 1 first. Anything in parentheses you do first. That gives you a 1. Then you have to go back and square the 1. You are not multiplying by 2. Squared means you multiply this number by itself. 1 times 1 is 1. And then you have to do 3 times 1, which is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5, minus 1 is 4. You must do what's in parentheses first. 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. And then you need to do 2 squared. That's 4. 2 times itself. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 plus 8 is 11, plus 6 is 17. You must do multiplication first. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 4 times 6 is 24. Now go in order left to right. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 plus 24 is 26. Minus 2 is 24. Pick a number from 1 to 5. Winning number is 4. Today's objective is to review a little bit from yesterday and then move on to long division. From yesterday we did this and figured out what place this was, which is what? Tenths. What place is this? Tens. And what place is this? Hundreds. What place is this?
Thousands.
And what place is this?
Hundreds.
What place is this?
Ones.
All right. We just took a practice quiz on the decimal places, and the answers are C, A, F, D, B, and E. You must go in the parentheses first. Inside the parentheses, you have 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And keep everything else where it's at. 2 squared is 4. Keep everything else where it's at. This is times. 2 times 3 is 6, and 4 times 4 is 16. Add them together. 22. For an example, we're going to try to divide 9 into 6,173. And since you know the decimal places like you should now, the instruction is to round to the hundredths place. If you're rounding to the hundredths place, you want to go to the thousandths place so you can round back. Whatever decimal place you're rounding to, divide out one place further so that you can look at that number and determine if the place you're rounding to must go up or stay the same. So we have 9 going into 6173. Start here. Will 9 divide into 6? No, it will not. So will 9 divide into 61? How many times? 6 times. 9 will go into 61 6 times for 54. The difference is 7 when you subtract. Now if you ever do a subtraction here and the number you get as the difference is higher than what you're dividing by, if this number is higher than this one, then you can go in another time. If it's less than, then that's as high as you could go without going over. The difference is 7. What do I do next?
Bring down the 7.
Bring down the 7, yes. So now we want to see how many times 9 will go into 77 without going over.
8 times.
9 times? 8 times. 8 times. So it'll go in 8 times, which is 72. Subtract and get 5. What do I do next? Bring down the 3. How many times will 9 go into 53? It will go in 5 times. That's 45, and the difference is what? 53 minus 45. 8. Now, what do we do next? Yeah, we need to have some zeros. So here's the decimal point. And we'll add some zeros. Is that enough zeros?
No, you need one more.
We need one more because we're rounding to the hundredths place, which is how many places past the decimal point? 2 places. The hundredths place is 2 places past the decimal point. That's what we're rounding to. That means we have to go one more, so we have something to look at so that we know what to round. Alright, so we had 8 left over and we have to drop a 0. How many times will 9 go into 80?
8 times.
8 times. So that's 72, and we have 8 left over. We drop a 0, and we're out of room, so I'm just going to recopy that, 80. How many times will 9 go into 80? 8 times. And again, that's 72. So what kind of decimal have we run into? Repeating decimal, because we have 8 left over again. When we drop that 0, it goes in yet another 8 times. We're rounding to the hundredths place. Here, the number beside it is 8. Should I round the 8 up to 9 or leave it as 8? Up to 9. So the answer is 685.89, and drop everything else after it. On the practice problem, 6 will not go into 3, so it must go into 32. It goes into 32 5 times, which is 30. Subtract to get 2. Bring down the 1. 6 will go into 21 4 times. That's 20, or not 4 times. It goes in 3 times. There we go. 3 times for 18. And you have 3 left over. Drop the 9. 6 will go into 39 6 times, which is 36. 3 left over. Here's your decimal point, and you need 3 zeros. Drop that 0, and 6 goes in 5 times, and that is 30. There's nothing left over, and if you keep dropping zeros, there's still nothing. So we don't actually make it out to the hundredths place. The answer is 536.5. On this one, you have 2 plus 4 times 6 is 24, minus 3 times 2 is 6, plus 5 times 4 is 20. 2 plus 24 is 26. Take away 6 to get 20. Add 20 to get 40. Here's another bonus problem. Answer for the bonus. 7 minus 4 is 3. Squared is 9, times 4 is 36, plus 3 is 39, plus 3 is 42, minus 1 is 41. On the practice problem, 7 will not go into 4, but it does go into 46. 7 into 46, 6 times for 42. 4 left over, drop a 0. 7 goes into 40, 5 times, that's 35. 5 left over, drop a 3. 7 into 53, 7 times. That's 49. 4 left over. Here's your decimal point. We're going to the 10th place, which is this, so we have to go one more place. Drop a 0. 7 into 40, 5 times. That's 35. And you have 5 left over. And you drop one more 0 and get a 7 into 50. 7 times. So we're rounding to the 10th place. We have to look at this number. Do we have to round the 5 up to 6? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. 657.6 is the answer. For the bonus problems, they should have been 19, 16, and 4. On the practice problem, 5 will go into 7 once with 2 left over. Drop the 9. 5 into 29 5 times. You have 4 left over. Drop the 4. 5 into 44 8 times. And then drop the 3. 5 into 43 8 times. 3 left over. Here's the decimal point. We need 3 zeros. Drop that 0. I need to start over here. 5 into 30 6 times. Nothing left over. So that's it. You never make it to the hundredths place. Your answer is 1588.6. On the bonus problems, we should have had 16 for the first one and 37 for the second one. problem. On the practice problem, we have 8 into 2. It will not go, so 8 into 21 is twice, which is 16. You have 5 left over. Drop the 5. And 8 goes into 55 6 times with 7 left over. Drop the 9 and 8 goes in 9 times for 72. And you have 7 left over. Here's the decimal point. Drop the 0. 8 into 70 8 times. 6 left over. You'll need another 0, and 8 goes into 67 times. You're rounding to the 10th place, which is this. So look at the 7. You got to bump it up to 9. 269.9. On the bonus problem, it's 5 plus 18 divided by 9 is 2. Plus 4 times 6 divided by 12 is 2. And then minus 1. All these clusters of multiplication and division have to be done first. You just dwindle them down into this. So 5 plus 2 minus 1 is 8. On the practice problem, 2 goes into 9 4 times, 1 left over. 2 into 17 8 times, 1 left over. 2 into 18 9 times, nothing left over. Drop the 5 and 2 into 5 twice with 1 left over. Drop a 0. 2 into 10 5 times, and that's as far as you can go. On the bonus, it should be 6 minus 1, which is 5. 5 squared is 25, times 5 is 125, plus 2 is 127, minus 30 is 97. On the bonus, it's 6 plus 9 times 3 divided by 27 is 1, plus 4 times 8 divided by 16 is 2. So the answer is 9.